Hi, I'm Travis Elliott with National Control Devices, and welcome to my desk. I've got the reactor line sitting here in front of me, and I'm going to kind of talk to you about the options available with it. I'm also going to talk to you about some things that you need to know and where to get that information. We're going to be doing a lot of videos on the reactor and key fob lines, so I'm probably going to do videos about how to use the configuration utility, videos about the actual hardware aspect of these controllers, as well as just some basic reactor logic explanation videos. And those are going to be really helpful for you whenever you're trying to set up these devices. So there's going to be a lot of useful information. I hope you'll stick around, and I won't bore you to tears. But I got to say, these reactor controllers are a blast to play with. I mean, the things that they can do are just simply amazing. We've had a whole lot of fun with them here. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of go over some options and let you know how you can get these boards. To start with, they're available in about 4 different sizes. You have 1 relay, 2 relay, 4 relay, and 8 relay. I don't think we're going to go above 8 relays for a while, and that's mainly because the chip that we program the reactor firmware into is cram-packed. I mean, we can't get any more in there. So that's kind of why there's only 8 relays for now. Hopefully we'll get a larger chip soon whenever they release one, and we can do some more relays. But for now, that's why there's only 8 available. Now, to start with, we have mechanical and some solid state relay controllers. In the mechanical side, we have 5 amp, 10 amp, 20 amp, and 30 amp. And then on the solid state line, we have basically 5 different solid state relays available. If you were to take this solid state reactor controller and add it to your shopping cart, it's going to ask you what type of relays you want installed on it. So you can pick from them, and there's basically 5 types. There's type A, B, C, D, and E. And they all have different amperage and voltage characteristics, so you can pick exactly which one you want. Now, these do need to be attached to your computer for configuration, and if you want to take over control of them. They were basically designed to be standalone controllers to make decisions on their own, based on configuration that you load into them. Now, the really beautiful thing about these is there's no programming required. You just load our configuration utility, which is a little program where you basically change settings. You use that program to save that configuration into the device, and then you disconnect it from your computer and put it out there, and it does what you told it to do. Basically how it works is there are inputs and relays on the board, and the controller makes decisions based on what happens on these inputs. Now, these inputs can be used with sensors that have a variable resistance output, like thermal sensors and light sensors and magnetic sensors and just all kinds of sensors. Just about anything you can think of, there's an electronic sensor. Another type of sensor that can be attached is a 0 to 5 volt DC output. These inputs are capable of reading 0 to 5 volts DC. They're also capable of reading contact closures. So if you want to attach a lot of thermostats or contact closure output, motion detectors a lot of times are contact closure output, and then of course you have switches and buttons that you can attach there for human interface. So really a lot of different ways to get your information into the reactor through those inputs. And basically those inputs control events and relays, and we'll get into that a lot more in the Reactor Logic video that I'll be doing next. There's a little bit to know. You need to understand how Reactor Logic works, but once you've got that down, you've really got it. I mean, then you can move on and start doing some really cool things with these and really have some fun. Now, for connecting them to your computer, right now we have 4 options available. We have USB, and the way that these options work is there's a little modular plug on the device. Okay, there's basically 2 rows of pluggable headers here, and then the modules have 2 rows of headers coming out the bottom of them, and you can simply plug that in there. And now I've got a USB plug here. It's actually a USB mini. I can just take my USB mini plug here and plug it right into my computer. And I'm basically ready to start programming this board. So connectivity with new USB modules is very easy. Another thing that I like about them is I can just pull this module out, I can plug it into another board, and I'm ready to go. So you can program multiple boards with just one of these devices. So we don't have to charge you for the USB plug on every single device because it's hard soldered in. I think that's going to save a lot of you guys some money, and I think it's really going to make things easier. You can just throw that USB plug in your drawer, and you'll have it for the next time. Now we're also going to have them available with 802.15.4 wireless. This has been an extremely popular protocol, by the way. ZB Zigbee mesh, and XSC long range wireless. So you've got 4 different ways of communicating to the board. Now, the connectivity to the computer is kind of optional. You know, you can leave the device connected to your computer and let it run the configuration you programmed into it, and that works great. If you want to, you can take the thing out and you can take it to a location where there isn't a computer, and it can run that configuration you programmed into it and make decisions on its own based on its inputs. So if it gets too hot in a room, it can turn on a relay to turn on a fan or an air conditioner, or it can turn on a heater, it can turn on lights, just anything. I mean, anything electrical, you know, you can control with this thing. So just a world of options. Now, like I said, you can take control of the device anytime you want from your computer and turn it on or off if you want to. If I'm shooting a video and my reactor's over there and it's turning on a fan, which I told it to do if it gets too hot in here, but it's interfering with my video, I can just, if I had a wireless module in this, I could communicate to it wirelessly from my laptop and tell it, you know, turn off that relay. But what you need to understand is whenever this controller is running, based on the configuration you gave it, you need to think of it as this little chip here, this little bitty guy here, is called the reactor. Whenever it's out there, that means the reactor is controlling the relays. Yeah. Now, at any time, I can override the reactor and say, hey, I'm going to take control of those relays. And then I can turn them on and off if I want to. But once I'm done, I return control of those relays to the reactor. And we'll get into exactly how to do that in the software program. You actually use a configuration utility to do that. It's very, very easy. You just click on the tab and click a button to turn a relay on or off. So really simple. No programming required once again. And we like it because you don't lose your ability to control the device. You know, in special circumstances, sometimes you need to take control and say, okay, that relay shouldn't be on right now, and you can do that. So that's really handy to have. And if it's up in an attic or something, you just plug one of these wireless modules onto it, plug a modem into your computer, and you can take control of it anytime you want. So really pretty handy to have. So I believe that that's it for this video, and like I said, in the next video I'm going to get into Reactor Logic, how it ticks, and kind of help to explain to you what you need to know to start programming with these. But we've got to do a little schoolwork before that. But don't worry, after that it's all going to be fun and games. So I'll look forward to seeing you in that video, and I think that's it. Thank you.